Two roads diverged into yellow wood. And sorry, I could not travel both. Be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down, one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. Then took the other just as fair, and having perhaps the better claim because it was grassy and wanted wear. Though, as for that passing there, had worn them really about the same. And both that morning equally lay, in leaves no step had trodden black. Oh, I kept the first for another day, yet knowing how way leads on to way, I doubted if I should ever come back. I shall be telling this with a sigh, somewhere ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Welcome, friends. I am the Great Baldini, and you are awesome. Thanks for stopping by. And if you think things sound a little different, it's because they do. I'll explain it briefly, and also explain. Well, I guess I'll begin here. It sounds different because it is, along with many other frustrations and things going wrong over and over, as they do from time to time. I came in Thursday, I think, and I was trying to prep. I'd been doing some research, and I'd promised I was going to do a bit more on the International House of Prayer, not pancakes, but prayer. I was going to focus a little bit more on that and some of the issues that I saw around me and that were causing grief. And then, so I was, doing some research on that. And then, as sometimes happens, I got hit with something else. So I'm going to do something else. But I came in the studio to prep it, and I noticed that the little digital mixer that I use. Well, I have a variety of tools in here, but little digital mixer that I use to put all the microphones into, and it's got all the effects and dynamics and EQ and everything. And as digital things go, from time to time, it would just kind of block up, and even during programs, and sometimes I'd have to reboot it. It was awkward, but it happens. That's the nature of the beast. However, this time it did not restart. It just kind of sat there, and it's still just sitting there. I tried rebooting it a number of times, and it was frustrating. And the point is, I'm not here to say poor me. I mean, all sorts of stuff going on and that I don't like. But I think the point here, a couple of things. First, I'm just going to power through it. And so I took a moment to just kind of move things around enough where I could just do this minimum little setup. So I could play a little bit of noodles and just talk to you for a moment. I will make a concerted effort to try to make it a little bit better, but I'm not going to promise much, because ultimately I'd like to just get out of here and move on to something, a better place to set up. But in the interim, I still want to meet with you guys as regularly as possible, even when it's difficult like this, and powering through it. I have noted that I mentioned that I've been really struggling with the health issues the last couple of weeks. And again, I'm not going to belabor the point. I'm not going to just hang out here forever, just to say that, struggles. And but I'm here because I love you, and I feel convicted. I feel like this is part of my duty to come here and share with you. And so I'm not going to be a drag. And in fact, I'm so not going to be a drag that I didn't. Again, I got nudged a little bit to do something different. I got hit with a passage of scripture, and it sank so deeply into me, and I thought for a moment I might just do a little video to go along with it. I could see some imagery accompanying it, but I think I just want to share it with you. It is, and let the Spirit guide. And so first, I just let's do this. I just want to invite Dad. I just invite your Spirit here with me, and thank you for guiding me into speaking, hopefully, what you would want me to say. Thank you for bringing folks here and the beautiful friends that you've given me in this world. thank you for the clarity, to see that things aren't always the way we want them to be, and that you're good and trustworthy. I'm going to just jump right in here. Isaiah 5 really smacked me. And I was going to start specifically at verse 11, because it really is meaningful there out. But it all is, of course. And then I got nudged a little further, and I think I'm going to add the first 10 as well. It's a little bit of they're a little bit different, right? So we're just going to merge it all together if we can. But I wanted to just, like I said, I wanted to share this with you, and it was just laid on my heart. So here we go. Isaiah 5, I'm going to read from the Holman Christian Study Bible. I will sing about the one that I love, a song about my loved one's vineyard. The one I love had a vineyard on a very fertile hill. He broke up the soil, cleared it of stones, and planted it with the finest vines. He built a tower in the middle of it, and even dug out a wine press there. He expected it to yield good grapes, but instead it yielded worthless grapes. So now, residents of Jerusalem and men of Judah, please judge between me and my vineyard. What more could I have done for my vineyard that I did? Why, when I expected a yield of good grapes, did it yield worthless grapes? Now, I will tell you what I'm about to do to my vineyard. I will remove its hedge, and it will be consumed. I will tear down its wall, and it will be trampled. I will make it a wasteland. It will not be pruned or weeded. Thorns and briars will grow up. I will also give orders to the clouds that the rain should not fall on it. For the vineyard of the Lord of hosts is the house of Israel, and the men of Judah, the plant he delighted in. He looked for justice, but saw injustice, for righteousness, but heard instead cries of wretchedness. Woe to those who add house to house and join field to field until there is no more room, and you alone are left in the land. Sound a little bit like smart cities and stack 'em and pack 'em? Oh, sorry. It doesn't say that. That's just me. I heard the Lord of hosts say, indeed, many houses will become desolate, grand and lovely ones without inhabitants, ghost cities. For a 10-acre vineyard will yield only 6 gallons, and 10 bushels of seed will yield only 1 bushel. Diminishing return. Woe to those who rise early in the morning in pursuit of beer, who linger in the evening, inflamed by wine. At their feast they have lyre, harp, tambourine, flute, and wine. They do not perceive the Lord's actions. They do not see the work of his hands. Therefore my people will go into exile, because they lack knowledge. Her dignitaries are starving, and her masses are parched with thirst. Therefore Sheol, hell, enlarges its throat, and opens wide its enormous jaws. And go down to Zion's dignitaries, her masses, her crowds, and those who carouse in her. Humanity is brought low, man is humbled, and haughty eyes are humbled. But the Lord of hosts is exalted by his justice, and the holy God is distinguished by righteousness. Lambs will graze as if in their own pastures, and strangers will eat among the ruins of the rich. Woe to those who drag wickedness with cords of deceit, and pull sin along with cart ropes. To those who say, let him hurry up and do his work quickly so that we can see it. Let the plan of the Holy One of Israel take place so that we can know it. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil, who substitute darkness for light and light for darkness, who substitute bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe to those who are wise in their own opinion and clever in their own sight. Woe to those who are heroes at drinking wine, who are fearless at mixing beer, who acquit the guilty for a bribe and deprive the innocent of the justice. Therefore, as a tongue of fire consumes straw, and as dry grass shrivels in the flame, so their roots will become like something rotten, and their blossoms will blow away like dust, for they have rejected the instruction of the Lord of hosts, and they have despised the word of the Holy One of Israel. Therefore, the Lord's anger burns against his people. He raised his hand against them and struck them. The mountains quaked, and their corpses were like garbage in the streets. Seen Haiti? In all this, his anger is not removed, and his hand is still raised to strike. He raises a signal flag for the distant nations and whistles for them from the end of the earth. Look how quickly and swiftly they come. None of them grows weary or stumbles. No one slumbers or sleeps. No belt is loose, and no sandal strap broken. Their arrows are all sharpened, and their bows all strung. Their horses' hooves are like flint. Their chariot wheels are like a whirlwind. Their roaring is like a lion's. They roar like young lions. They growl and seize their prey and carry it off, and no one can rescue it. On that day they will roar over it like the roaring of the sea. When one looks at the land, there will be darkness and distress. Light will be obscured by clouds. Isaiah 5 from the Holman Christian Study Bible. Specifically beginning at 11. It is so timely. Be of good courage. He has promised that he will be with us even until the end of the world. One of my favorite places to go, feeling, kind of lonely. John 14:15, the Last Supper, and the Gospel of John, of course, one of my favorites, as he calls himself the disciple Jesus loved. I love that. Jesus said, "Don't let your heart be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house there are many dwelling places. If it weren't so, I would have told you. I'm going away to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and receive you to myself, so that where I am, you may be also. And you know the way to where I'm going." And Thomas said, "Lord, we don't know where you're going. How can we know the way?" Jesus told him, "I am the way, the truth, and the life. And no one comes to the Father except by me. If you know me, you will also know my Father. From now on, you do know him, and you have seen him, because you know me." The Lord said, "Philip, show us the Father. That'll be enough for us." And Jesus said, "Have I been around you all this time without your knowing me, Philip? The one who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Don't you believe that I am in the Father, and he is in me? The words I speak to you, I don't speak on my own. The Father who lives in me does his works. Believe me that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me. Otherwise, believe because of the works themselves. I assure you, the one who believes in me will also do the works that I do. And he will do even greater works than these, because I go to my Father. Whatever you ask in my name, I will do it, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son." And I'm going to pause there just for a moment, because this will get back to when I go back to talking about Christianity as a culture. This is one of the things that really has been blown up by this International House of Prayer and the apostasy going on there, is that, again, these people are big into the gifts of the Spirit, except for they use them as the grifts of the Spirit, right? It provides ammunition for cessationists to say, see, the Holy Spirit isn't active these days. But Jesus promised right here, right? I assure you, the one who believes me will do the works that I do, and even greater works than these, because I am going to my Father. Whatever you ask in my name, I'll do it, so the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I'll do it. That's a promise. Now, you said, give me a winning lottery ticket, right? You can also go to the book of James, right, where it tells you you don't get those things like that you want because your heart is bent. You're not going to spend that in a good way if you're asking for that purpose, right? But the Father knows all that you need, and He is pleased to give it to you. But He promises here, and this is what I want to get to you: if you love me, keep my words, and I'll ask the Father, and He'll give you another counselor. That's the Spirit, Mama, to be with you forever, the Spirit of truth. The world is unable to receive it because they don't know her, right? I'm just going to say her because I experience it as Mom. Very comforting. The comforter, right? That's, yeah, Mom, Dad, bro. That's the way I see it. Again, don't get too upset or too uptight about it. But I will not leave you as orphans. I will come to you. Right? In a little while, the world will see me no longer, but you will see me. Because I live, you will live too. And in that day, you will know that I am in my Father, you are in me, and I am in you. And the one who has my commands and keeps them is the one who loves me. And what is the commandment, right? Love God, love others, right? That's it. And the one who loves me will be loved by my Father, and I will also love him and reveal myself to him. Judas, not Iscariot, said to him, Lord, how is it you're going to reveal yourself to us and not the world? Jesus said, if anyone loves me, he will keep my word, and my Father will love him, and we will come to him and make our home with him. The one who doesn't love me won't keep my words. So again, this is really clear when you look around. You need discernment to see who is a real leader. Again, I would say, don't put your trust in men. Don't follow some preacher or teacher. Don't follow me. I mean, you can subscribe to the channel, but I'm man. Don't put me on a pedestal. I know where the bodies are buried. I know where my weaknesses are, and there's lots of them, right? I'm not to hurt anybody, but I certainly have my own struggles, right, with consistency and things in my heart, right, and just obedience, right? That's it. But the one who doesn't love me won't keep my words. The word that you hear isn't mine, but it's from the Father who sent me. I've spoken these things to you while I remain with you, but the Counselor, the Holy Spirit, the Father will send in my name, and he'll teach you all things and remind you of everything I've told you. And see, that's why I don't have to, I don't need to be a teacher, right? I just, if you'll trust Dad to teach you, right? If you just call out to him with an open heart, a contrite spirit, transparency, honestly, don't try to pull one over on the Creator. It won't work. But if you're sincere, he promises peace I give you. I don't give you peace like the world gives. Your heart must not be troubled or fearful. Right? And this is important in these times because he says, don't be afraid. So we follow his words. There's fearful and troubling things out there, right? But we know he's with us. You've heard me say, I'm going to go away and I'm coming to you. He promised. And if you love me, you would have rejoiced that I'm going to the Father, because the Father is greater than I. And I've told you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you can believe. And I won't talk with you much longer, he says, because the ruler of the world is coming. He's just about to be sacrificed. He has no power over me. But on the contrary, I'm going away so that the world may know that I love the Father. Just as the Father commanded me, so I do. So should you do. Well, I can't tell you what to do. But I'll tell you from my experience, right? And the many years that I have chased down all these different paths trying to find truth, this is it. That the most effective and the truest true is found in the personification of Jesus. You just get to know him, and if you don't, just ask him, show yourself to me. I want to get to know you. Tell me who you are. But anyone who wants to sell you this information or says, I'm going to tell you the secret, in my secret cabin in the woods. Mind the owl, if they're going to sell you a book and it's got, it's a grimoire of spells. Do your thing. I mean, will some of those things, can they be effective? They can do things, yes, you can see things occur. Will it keep you safe? Will it make you happy? I don't know. I mean, it didn't make me happy. It certainly didn't keep me safe. But in spite of all the agony that the last 4 or 5 years have been, there's nothing I want more than to just look into his face. That's it, right? No one has been more faithful. No one has been more kind. And frankly, disciplined, like not letting me get away with crap, right? When I'm going to cover up my head and go, oh, I don't like it, right? Yeah, I know. Let's keep going. He's a good dad. She's a good mom. He's a good brother. That's my experience. I can't sell you on anything, but that's my experience. Anyway, I wanted to share that with you. It struck me so hard. Isaiah chapter 5, especially starting at verse 11. I could just see it so clearly. He's working in people's hearts, and you're seeing things change around you. There's going to be a lot of change. My hair is standing up on the back of my neck over the next couple of weeks with this these signs in the heavens, right? Not because I predict anything specific is going to happen, but because in Genesis it says they'll be for signs and seasons and days and years, and I can't ignore the signs, right? I have my thoughts about it. I don't know if I'm 100%, on what I think. I'm not sure I'll ever be. So, when we get there, I'll give you a little bit more of what I think is potentially going on with that. But I do see it as not simply while it is a natural occurrence. Again, we were told, let them be for signs and seasons and days and years. And so it would certainly appear to be a sign. It certainly does appear to be that way. And putting an X right across the United States, and if you want to add another partial eclipse in there, and you get the Hebrew letter Tav, the A, the first letter in the alphabet. It's interesting. A lot of interesting stuff, and a lot of people saying a lot of things about it, and I think they're interesting. I even sent one to my brother the last couple of days, and he sent me a couple, and we're looking at them, right? And I would just say, even if I put up a playlist and recommend some stuff, and I say, these are interesting, again, I don't, I'm not going to stand by and, qualify and endorse every word that they say. So, it's, but there's some interesting stuff. Certainly if you get into numerology, if you get into signs and astrology, signs in the heavens, just about everywhere you look, you're going to find more and more indications that all the things that were prophesied are coming into alignment. So it does seem to be, it does seem to be getting closer, Certainly the closest it's ever been in my lifetime, and I mean, every day, of course, you're going to get closer and closer, but in any case, let me, I think just kind of bring it in for a landing here and just say that continue to watch and pray. The best preparation you can do is really spend time with your Creator. I expect that I'll do at least one more program, perhaps more, but at least one more program before the Celestial event on the 8th of April. I would like to comment on that before it happens. I will say that I do find it very interesting that, at least in the United States, many states and counties have already declared states of emergency in advance, and they're advising everybody, to stock up on food, water, specifically communications with loved ones, that sort of stuff. It seemed really interesting for just a random old eclipse. They didn't do it last time. So again, don't want to read too much into it other than to say they're saying something. So, it's probably always good to be prepared at any time. So anyway, I'm just going to say, don't freak out. Just keep your eye on it. That's what I'm doing, keeping my eye on it, looking at all the things, and we'll talk about it again as we get a little bit closer. I have a variety of things I want to put in, and I really had intended this weekend to speak more about the kind of the new apostolic Reformation and what that looks like in church, and then on the other side of church is sort of the secessionist orthodoxy. And from my view, they're both kind of going off into, neither of them are providing the opportunity for you to be directly in intimate relationship with Jesus. Trust the church or trust the new prophet. They're giving you a choice. And just like the left wing and the right wing of the political bird, it's both wings of the same bird. It's a dirty bird. It's a false dichotomy. So, again, I'm going to repeat this over and over until I die. As regards to all this stuff, when asked about it, Jesus specifically said, don't be deceived. Take care that no one deceives you, right? So discernment is key. How do you do that, right? He says, my sheep will know my voice. Best way I can tell you to do it is, again, getting direct connection with your Creator and learn to know His voice as best you can, because there's all kinds of other voices whispering, and certainly as we get down closer and closer to the day, it is going to be increasingly intense, and all the language seems to express that, but he that endures to the end will be saved. And endure doesn't sound like, it's a party. It sounds like it's going to be, again, a very challenging time, but with His grace and your commitment. Really, it's about love. Just, fear and love with your Creator. Just like for me, when I was in love with my wife, nothing would have stopped me. Same is true, only with more intensity. This is, it's for everything, all the marbles. So again, my point here is not to, shake anybody up or to, prognosticate gloom and doom. It just, again, there's a lot of chatter out there. It looks like a lot of stuff is going on. There are a lot of things sort of lining up, and if nothing else, we are certainly getting, again, closer and closer than we have ever been. And everything else sort of indicates that, including, for example, everything in my studio not working, so that's delightful. Anyway, I think I will leave with this. Just first, continue to pray for one another. I would certainly ask if you would continue to hold me up in prayer, and one another. And I will continue to hold you up in prayer. If you have specific requests, you can send me an email. All my contact info certainly is in the show notes. You can, leave a comment, anything you want. Get a hold of me. Happy to pray with you, for you. And with that, I think we're going to call it an evening. I would say first, I just want to apologize that I haven't been here as much as I'd like, and for a variety of reasons. Mostly the physical stuff. It's just really difficult. I wasn't even certain I would be able to do this tonight. It was touch and go for a while. So with that, again, continue to keep us in your prayers. But again, I would say that I know from people I talk to, this is true for so many, right? Whether it's health issues, whether it's finances, emotional, family, whatever it is, so many people are being pressed on every side. So so directly, right? Let's just continue to encourage one another and give each other grace. Love you guys. Thanks so much for coming. Hope to see you again soon. I'll be back again next week, hopefully, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Anyway, be well.